Definitely have to say this is going to be a very, very exciting run to come up for. But we do have some more incentives. The Super Mario Brothers Small Fire Mario incentive is still open, and honestly, it's super, super close of being met. I would say less than $50 now. 50, not 15, 50. And so I just wanted to say it's definitely a glitch to watch. It's super, super fun. And honestly, I have to say, Supersonic showcasing it is always fun to watch. Always fun because it's just that skill nanigans. Oh, it's just that is gold right there. Alrighty. Well, I am gonna be I'm looking forward to the next run, and we are gonna be setting up for it now. Alrighty. Are we ready to watch The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild? Be blindfolded? Come on. I'm ready for it. CrystalSaver, thank you for showing this. This is going to be amazing. I am super, super stoked to watch, and I definitely think this will just be. I would just stay tuned, watch. I mean, anything blindfolded is always amazing to watch. I mean, you're blindfolded. Come on. So let's see more of this happening, and I am super stoked to show you The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild with CrystalSaver. In the meantime, just a really, really quick update or just any information about this is the run. Well, this is the run. This is dot run. Are you ready to see a new way to watch speedruns? This is the Run is a site dedicated to feeding fans live runs on PB Pace in an easy to browse format. Never miss that run again. Now in alpha testing, visit This is the dot run today. Full release coming soon in 2023. Alrighty, are we ready to see and watch the Breath of the Wild being blindfolded? Are we ready? I'm ready. I'm super, super ready for it. I would love to introduce CrystalSaver or Saver and Bulbza, our commentary. Would you both like to say hello and introduce yourselves?
Hello, I'm Saver. I'm the one who's going to be running this category, Breath of the Wild, any percent blindfolded on the Nintendo Switch. And for the most part, the commentary will be done by Bubzia.
Yes, hello. I'm Babsia, and I'm gonna be commentating today. I'm one of the few runners of this category, so hopefully I can provide you some useful information about it. And yeah, very excited to see Saver run this. He's definitely the best at it, so take it away as soon as you are ready, Saver.
All right. Yeah, Bubzia introduced a brand new category to this run called Any Percent Blindfolded and Notched, which actually uses a D-pad controller. So you'll see a lot of straight angles as opposed to using the Pro Controller in this run. It's going to be amazing. A lot of new tricks and a lot of speed ups. So I'm going to start the run, and Bubzia is going to be. I'm going to be actually taking off the Discord, and Bubzia is just going to be talking, so I won't be able to hear him. So I'm going to count down. Taking this off, and let's go. In 5, 4, 3, 2.
Let's go. So, for those who are unaware what just happened, basically Saver has a separate pair of headphones that allows him to only hear the game audio. That means everything I say will not be audible for Saver, which is very good for a blindfolded speedrun because usually we need to focus a lot and we are easily distracted when other people talk because we need to count and we need to keep stuff in our memory. So I will be taking over like the entire commentary. Saver will throughout the run probably not say much at all and just focus on the game. So, Breath of the Wild, any percent. It's a very, very interesting blindfolded game and category, in my opinion. In the beginning here, we have a bit of a downtime, so I have a lot of time to explain a few basic concepts, which is great, honestly. there will be around like 5 minutes of like cutscenes, basically. Story-wise, Link, or in Breath of the Wild, Link awakes from like a deep slumber. He was sleeping for like a couple of hundred years and now awakes, and Hyrule is like in total disorder. And now we already see the gameplay, and more cutscenes. But yeah, I will introduce quickly the first few main mechanics that we're going to be using in Blindfolded, especially, that help us traverse this big world here. The first one you could already see, which was bunny hopping. So in Breath of the Wild, there is one mechanic called bunny hopping, which is extremely, extremely important for setups and movement. You can see it in a few seconds again. Basically, if you played Ocarina of Time, it's the same concept as Z targeting. So basically, you target, and then you have the ability to strive to the left and right and do like side hops, etc. And these side hops can be counted, which is extremely nice for Blindfolded because we can make setups like, okay, I'm going to jump 10 times to the right, then 2 backflips, then 2 times to the left, and then 5 times up. And like this, we have a consistent set of distance that we can go into each cardinal direction, which is extremely nice. The second thing we're going to use, or this saver is going to use, is footsteps. Now, jumping with bunny hops is rather slow, unfortunately. Not extremely slow, but kind of slow. So if we have long distances to run, we want to preferably run just without hopping. And that is done by counting footsteps. There are many different techniques that different runners use different techniques here for this, but Saver counts the footsteps of Link. So right now, for example, you can see him run, the stamina bar goes down, and he counts these footsteps like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 for a specific amount of run steps. And that's how he knows where he is, how much he still needs to go, etc. Now, here we go to the Great Plateau, which is the beginning area of Breath of the Wild, and you will see instantly what I mean with this running. Now, it's important, a very subtle thing to notice here is how the camera is not following Link around. That is a thing we call static camera, because in Breath of the Wild, it's rather strange that if you tap the camera button for even the shortest amount of time, then the camera will stay statically behind Link and not move like dynamically. So right here, what you can see is, okay, first of all, Saver does a safety save here, which is also common throughout the marathon run. Safety saves, there is a save system in Breath of the Wild, which is extremely nice. There are some flaws to it, which I will come to later, probably. And now we're just gonna go ahead and run. As you can see, the camera stays always behind Link. Like, we can move in cardinal directions without the camera moving. And we want to reach this axe right here. This axe is extremely important, one of the best weapons in the game. This axe is not used much for combat, but rather for setups, because it is a two-handed weapon, and we can do some crazy stuff with that. In just a short while, I will explain more to that. First of all, let me talk about the goal that we want to reach right now. So Saver is running across Hyrule Field, and we want to activate the tower. If you know visual speedruns of Breath of the Wild, you probably don't know this section much because they skip all of this. They use like out-of-bounds glitches to enter into shrines and clip through the walls, etc. In Blindfolded, it's pretty difficult to do, so you see this mountain in front of us, that's why we want to run. And you could see Saver here set up a very precise angle that basically allows him to straight run, just holding straight forward and run towards that mountain. And inside that mountain is the tower activation that we want, because that allows us to quick travel, that allows us to open shrines, etc., to progress the story, basically, if you want. And it's a...
Is it okay if I just have a quick... Is it okay to interject right here real quick?
Of course, we have some time.
Awesome. I am super happy to announce that we did make that 5K donation. Thank you. Thank you so much. That is an amazing accomplishment that we have reached. I definitely would love to say that for $111 from Yasha, thank you for hosting Cutie SR. Good luck on the run, CrystalSaver. And thank you for the commentary, Bub Zia. I appreciate that. This is such a great, great time. It's awesome that we made that 5K. Let's get that hype in chat, everybody. Woo!
Hype. Thank you very much. If there are any other donations during out the run, just quickly interrupt me. There will be plenty of time for them.
Perfect. Thank you.
So we are in the tower now. We have activated it perfectly fine without any major issues. It can be kind of tricky to find a pedestal there, but Saver is very good at this, so I'm not surprised that he doesn't have trouble with this. But we are gonna go and have a first glitch in the run now, which is extremely exciting. It is called Fall Damage Cancel. So we can go down the tower the normal way and climb, but there's actually a way to just jump down and cancel the fall damage, which is a 7-frame window, I believe, and you will see it right now after this cutscene. What we do is we jump down the tower, throw our weapon, and perfectly cancel it like a few frames before we land. And that, for some reason, the engine says like, okay, if you throw the weapon right before the ground, then you don't get damage. Like, it happens. But yeah, that was the first successful glitch of the run. You will see some other glitches too. Not too many in Blindfolded. There are not too many useful glitches because they are mostly like visually based, which is not so good for us. But yeah, a bit of more downtime, and the next goal is to reach the 4 shrines in the Great Plateau. Most notably, the next one is gonna be the Bomb Shrine. The Bomb Shrine, we first gonna run to that again with some setups of angles. I don't know if Saver will use it here, but I can talk about it now. The axe that we collected actually can be used to buffer angles. So what that means is if you swing the axe and hold a direction on your controller, then Link will kind of perfectly face that direction. Exactly here you could see that. He swung the axe, hold left, and then retargeted, and Link got a 90-degree turn to the left, which is extremely nice for blindfolded setups. So we can just like set up the angle and then just run straight forward. Now, the same thing can be done with jumps. So you will see Saver doing the same kind of setup with jumps, which is more precise. It's just like only 1 or 2 frames, I think, that you have to input the correct direction. But it can be used to create a bit more specific angles, but it goes very deep into the technicalities here. Anyways, what I want to really talk about is the controllers that we use actually for this run. There was a swing bufferless turnaround, if you have seen that. So you might ask yourself, how is Saver running so straight? Because the Joy-Cons on the Switch and the Pro Controller don't have notches. How is it possible that we run straight forward? And that's exactly what Saver introduced earlier. A while ago, I joined the Blindfolded Breath of the Wild speed running, if you want, and I bought a controller, like a third-party controller, called the 8-bit DO. And because of that, we had to completely change the categories from, like, we now split any percent into notched and non-notched. Basically, I also have at home a Pro controller. Saver also has one with a Pro controller with notches, like a custom model if you want. And notches in this game are extremely powerful, so much that you can save like 10 to 20, 30 minutes even, just because your controller has notches. It makes everything so much more consistent. And that's why we now have a category called non-notched, which is basically on a Joy-Con or a normal Pro controller. And it involves mostly these bunny hops. And now with the new controllers that we use, we can actually do like crazy run setups into different directions, because the controller that Saver uses right now is the 8-bit DO, and it has, instead of an analog stick, a directional pad. So we can directly input left, right, up, right, etc. without worrying that we hit like a tiny bit too far up right or something. Anyways, we are now in the Bomb Shrine. You could see the theme of these shrines is always that we get a new rune. Like here we obtain the ability to create bombs out of nowhere, and then there is like a tiny dungeon based on the new ability that we got. You can see here there are like these tiny oh no, this works out perfect. So we do these tiny setups here to destroy these rocks with the bombs, and bombs are going to be actually very important. Bombs are one of the most important runes that we get. Every single rune has its application in Blindfolded. Very clean Bomb Shrine there. Every rune has its applications, but some are more useful than others, definitely. And bombs also in the visual speedrun are extremely broken, kind of in every single Zelda game if you think about it. Bombs are always the cause for glitches and going fast. But yeah, that was the bomb shrine. The next thing we're gonna do is go to stasis. And right here, very interesting aspect. You might have wondered, Saver actually did not skip that cutscene extremely fast. You could basically you can skip this cutscene as soon as it starts playing, but if you wait there a few seconds until the monk, like around when the monk that sits there disappears, then the next loading screen will be around like 5 to 6 seconds shorter because the world has like enough loaded in. So actually it's faster to wait and not go fast in this scenario, which is quite funny in a speedrun. But yeah, we have to talk to the old man one more time. He's guiding us through like the tutorial section, etc. And then we are on the way to stasis. Now, the way to stasis is, I would say, the second hardest movement part of the Great Plateau. There are 4 total shrines. You can see we need to climb some walls here, and then it will be like a big, long walk again. And the next goal will be to actually make some food. Blindfolded cooking, let's go. So cooking is a very big part actually of blindfolded any percent runs. Saver's route doesn't cook that much food, but there is still not a single route that does not cook anything at all. And with cooking comes, of course, inventory management. Inventory management is a big deal in this game and this run, especially blindfolded, because you might wonder, how do we know where the items are in the inventory, etc. But thankfully, in Breath of the Wild, it's actually very well coded, I would say, because every item has a given item ID. And if you collect, for example, a mushroom and then a fruit, and the mushroom has an ID of 1 and the fruit has the ID of 2, then the mushroom will always be in front of the fruit, no matter in which order you pick it up. So as long as you know what you pick up, you can always basically make a established guess where it is in the inventory. And with that, you can basically achieve a 100% consistent inventory here. So what we're going to do is here first collect a hot pepper and a stamella shroom. Those will be the ingredients that we will cook. So we have 1 hot pepper, hot chili, I think they are called, and 1 stamella shroom, and we're going to cook both of these. The hot pepper gives you, if you cook it, gives you a cold resistance buff for 2 minutes, and the stamella shroom gives you a additional stamina boost. So if you eat it, for example, during climbing, you can climb 1 more time without falling down. We also pick up the potlit, which is the dearest friend of every blindfolded speedrun in this game, because this shield will carry us all the way to Ganon. We will literally fight Ganon with this potlit. This is a true companion here. But before we talk more about the potlit, we come to probably the worst section of the entire run, the Tree of Doom. You see this tree right here. There is like this big gap and we have to cross it. And the only way to cross it blindfolded is to actually do the casual first playthrough strat, where you cut the tree and then walk over the tree and balance somehow over it. But as you might imagine, okay, he's on. It is a bit difficult blindfold. Oh, he's stuck. He's a bit stuck. Will he figure it out is the question. He jumped off and he probably knows where he is now. Okay, perfect. But yeah, there is not a single run where this tree does not mess you up. It is such a random part, because not only is it inconsistent to cut the tree, there's also wind RNG, weather RNG. There's literally like anything can mess you up. If you're unlucky, there is like a tiny bit too much of a breeze and the tree falls into a wrong direction and it's over. So very happy here that Saver got so cleanly over this gap. Now we need to climb this this wall here. This is all a very normalized setup. We count basically how many times we need to climb, because Link can like climb, jump, and we can climb, for example, like 3 times upright, 1 time up, etc. And with this, we make our way to the Stasis Shrine, which is right on top of this cliff. You will see in 1 second. You can see more of the swing buffers with the axe. It's a very, very cool technique. And this is Stasis. Stasis is pretty unique in the shrines, in which there is a cycle that we need to catch. Like actually 2 things that we need to catch. First of all, as soon as you load in here, everything is timed. Like we need to be as fast as possible. You can see this wheel in front of us. It turns with a global timer. And this global timer starts as soon as you skip the first cutscene. And in Blindfolded, you cannot just wait for the next cycle, etc., because you need to know which position the wheel is at. And that's why we need to basically, every single time we do the shrine, we need to do the exact same inputs in the exact same speed. Otherwise, the cycle will be thrown off. And Stasis is a rune that can stop time. You will see it right now because we will freeze this wheel in time. I think 1 swing buffer to the right and perfect. Okay, the bridge is built. It is pretty straight. No problems crossing here. And now comes the second challenge of this shrine, which is the boulder. There is a boulder rolling here, and what we're gonna do is actually introduce a new technique which will be very, very important later, called scope cancelling. We'll jump to the right and then pull out our map. We actually pull out the scope in which you can like zoom in, etc. Because it, for whatever reason, very, very lucky reason for Blindfolded, if you take the scope out and cancel it with either B or a bow, your camera will face vertically a tiny bit up in a consistent manner. That's the most important part. So basically, by canceling the scope, we have the ability to move the camera in a normalized way, and a very, very clean shrine here. That was very, very good. And we will use this scope cancelling for many kind of setups that require very, very precise heights, because there's no way to basically move the camera or touch the camera button without messing anything up besides scope cancelling. Okay, that was the first half of the Great Plateau already. Very clean run so far. Saver is extremely, extremely good at this. Before I talk a bit more about Saver and his achievements, we have the probably hardest section of the run coming up. Very, 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 very infamous section right here for the blindfolded runners. First, we're going to pick up this iron hammer, which will also be used for some setups later. But I will explain what's going to happen now. So we're going to cross the mountain range here. And there is like, you can see it's all covered in snow. That's why we cooked the food, actually, as the last safety save. And now we're going to eat the cold-resistant food that we cooked. Managing the inventory. Boom, ate the food. And now we position ourselves in a very specific spot here and then start running. Basically, this entire mountain here is one big count of footsteps. It's the longest section that we count footsteps. I don't know how many exactly, but it has to be over like 400 or 500 footsteps that we have to constantly keep in mind. And at specific numbers, for example, after 130 footsteps, we have to hold upright for 10 footsteps. Then we have to hold up left for 10 footsteps. Then we have to hold up for 50 footsteps. Then upright again for 80. It's like, it looks like a visual run through the mountains just because it's so calculated and precise. And to top, not only is this extremely difficult to count, on top of that, at the very end, we do a shield surf for speed. Because we want to reach a wall on which we can normalize. There's only like one wall in the entire mountain range here where we can know our position for sure. And you can see the shrine in the distance, and on the left of the shrine there is this wall. And we will shield surf all the way to the wall. The problem is that's extremely inconsistent and based on where you start the shield surf. Here it goes. Let's hope that we end up right in front of the wall. Bit of skateboard funsies. But that looks pretty good. That looks extremely straight to the wall. Very, very clean. I assume, yeah, a safety save, and now we basically have to just find the wall somehow and renormalize there. Oh, that's a bit far right left, but it should work. Oh no, maybe. Yeah, that should work. That should definitely work. Yes. Okay. Saver found the wall perfectly. You can see there's like a chest. Ooh, there's an enemy here. Also, very fun, very fun RNG fact. It gets time. It gets night and day. There's a night and day cycle in Breath of the Wild, and because Saver arrived at this point exactly when the night started, suddenly enemies spawned, and enemies are random. Sometimes they are not there, sometimes they are there. You can see Saver's a bit frustrated about the enemies here, but nothing to worry about. Saver actually got bomb arrows from this chest. This is a DLC chest, so there are many memes about in our community that Blindfolded Breath of the Wild is literally pay to win, not only because of DLC, but amiibos that we're gonna abuse later on. But that was a very clean Cryonis, very good. Besides the little enemy RNG, that was impressive. So now comes Cryonis, actually a very easy shrine with one little hook, which is there is enemy RNG, which can just literally doesn't work for no reason, no apparent reason at least. But yeah, Cryonis is pretty straightforward. So I quickly want to rather shout out what Saver has been working on recently. So in Breath of the Wild, any percent, we have currently 3 runners, which is Saver was the first one a few years ago who routed any percent non-notched back in the days. Then a Japanese runner called Mariana appeared and beat the record actually, like beat Saver's record by a few minutes. And then I myself started running Breath of the Wild 2. And then we did the whole rerouting with notches and etc. And that made everything much faster, and Saver decided to basically come back, and he had one big goal in mind, a sub 1 hour speedrun. It looked impossible because the Saver grinded the world record down to like a 1 hour 19. So 20 minutes still, but with like a bit more route changes, it kind of like seemed to be maybe possible. And in the past few weeks, Saver has been grinding day after day and grinded more and more, got PB after PB every single day. And it seemed extremely difficult because we have so many different routes at this point. Very clean Cryonis Shrine. We have so many different routes at this point that we are ourselves like confused. Like, okay, which route am I gonna do? Like, we can do this, we can do this. And basically, Saver created a very inconsistent and dangerous route, which involves just picking up basically nothing. We go into the Ganon fight without armor. Any hit kills us, like literally one hit. But with this extremely difficult route, Saver actually managed to pull it off and get a sub 1 hour Breath of the Wild any percent yesterday. Actually, yesterday night. So a few hours, like 17 hours ago or something, it was finally achieved. So very happy that it happened here before this marathon. Now it's just like the how do you say, the like good old safe routes for the marathon, but we don't need to ever basically do this dangerous, very treacherous route again. So let's go back to actually the gameplay. We, after Cryonis, warp back and do one more fall cancel from the tower. Very clean fall cancel there. And now we go to the Magnesis Shrine, which is like the closest to the very beginning, so you might wonder, like, why didn't we do this earlier? But it just turns out in the route that this is better to do late, since we have more abilities to choose from. Cryonis, to get to Magnesis, we do some movement here over this lake. This lake is actually pretty difficult. We put a Cryonis block here in the water. Cryonis, for those who don't know, is putting ice from, or creating ice from water. As you can see here, like there is this ice block appearing, which you can climb and restore your stamina. That's what we use it for. So we're just quickly gonna chill around and wait for the stamina to reappear. And then we're gonna normalize on this wall right here in front of us and continue our way to the shrine. So one more time, or one more thing that I wanted to mention, the Great Plateau is also a separate category right now, and it is a very, very fun experience in my opinion. So if I can speak from like the blindfolded speedrunning community, anyone who is interested in Breath of the Wild and wants to like try out something blindfolded, you don't need to do like the entire any percent. You can just, for example, choose to do Great Plateau, and we highly encourage you to try because it's an extremely fun and rewarding game. And if you need any help, we are all very open to help, etc. So definitely give it a go. You can contact always Saver and me and all the other people in the community. I will later shout that out one more time. Just I wanted to say that Great Plateau is basically get all the 4 shrines in the beginning and then obtain the glider. And the glider is actually quite useless in blindfolded. It's always like such a cool item in visual speedruns, but in blindfolded we use it like once or twice maybe. But yeah, magnesis is the power to move metal objects like these doors in front of us on the floor, and we can just like move them around with a magnet. And there's actually a quite interesting application of the runes in this shrine, in my opinion, because this is the magnesis shrine and you're supposed to use magnesis to solve the puzzle. But we're actually gonna use stasis instead. So you can see there's this metal block and we stasis it and hit it with the axe, which creates like a physic that it gets propelled forwards because of the force you put into the block. And that kills the enemy that stands behind it because of the force. So a really clever setup here. Instead of using magnesis, we use actually the shrine to get a normalized kill on the enemy. And the same thing is, we're gonna do the same thing with the door in front of us. Oh, the little hiccup there on the block fell right in front of our path, but no big worries. So actually, we don't open doors with magnesis as in the casual playthrough, but rather with stasis, and that is because magnesis is a very annoying rune. We basically never use it in blindfolded because if you magnesis something and hit like an object like this metal door, the camera is gonna turn automatically. So it's much safer to stasis it, hit it a few times, and set up with a perfect camera. A very clean shrine again. So far, no big misses in this run. I'm very happy to see. Saver is, as I said, extremely talented in this. Done many blindfolded runs, including most of the Zelda titles, by the way. For those who don't know, I think Saver is working towards a full Zelda completion blindfolded, and there are only a few games left, like Skyward Sword, Twilight Princess, Wind Waker, and I believe Majora's Mask. But yeah, many Zeldas done already. And now the old guy comes one last time and says, like, yeah, come to the church, I have the glider for you, you did the Great Plateau. And this is basically the tutorial section of Breath of the Wild. This is what everyone needs to do. This is what everyone needs to do in order to like actually access the open world, because the world is initially locked to this tiny square here. So, what I want to quickly talk about is the incentive that actually got met for this run, because there was a donation incentive for this marathon, which was called Collect Majora's Mask Blindfolded. Majora's Mask is an item in Breath of the Wild that you can access, I believe, through either DLC. Yeah, I think the DLC actually has it. And it doesn't do much of like armor or anything, but it is pretty stylish. And Saver is going to do a bit of an alternative route to get it and showcase how to like where it is, etc. So it's going to be very difficult though. So I myself have never done it. I think Saver is the only person to have ever taken the Majora's Mask chest. So I'm very curious how it will go. Very excited. It will come up right after we get the glider and teleport back to the basically on the way to Ganon. So it will come up in like around 5 to 10 minutes. I'm very excited for that. There was a shooting star in the background. Also very, very lucky. It's, I think, a very small RNG chance that it happens in Breath of the Wild. Unfortunately, when you are still in the Great Plateau, most of them will fall in the open world behind the barriers, so you actually cannot go to them and like collect what they drop. But yeah, we go straight to the ladder, super clean setup, and as soon as we are on top of that, we are gonna go into some more cutscenes and obtain the glider. But before anything, now comes one of the most interesting parts of the run. If you see this and wonder what the hell is going on, why is meat falling from the sky, what even is happening, then you are not alone, don't worry. So, we have to talk a bit about amiibos. So, as you can see, Saver is just spamming some item and getting lots and lots of meat and chests, etc. And 5 ice arrows. And what that is basically the chests block the amiibo spawn now, so it's kind of a bit difficult. But he got enough meat. I think he has enough meat, so it's all good. He will continue the route now. There will later be again one part where he can farm more meat. But let me explain a bit what happened there. In Breath of the Wild, there are a big range of amiibo functionalities, from all the Breath of the Wild amiibos to all the Zelda amiibos to all the Smash amiibos. All the amiibos basically have an effect in this game. And what we scanned here was the Ocarina of Time amiibo because it has the highest percent of like meat drop rate. And we're gonna use meat basically just to heal during the Ganon fight. It will be our safety net for a marathon, especially. We need lots of healing items. Here we get the glider. This is the end of Great Plateau. Very, very good time. I don't know actually what time it is, but that was actually very, very close to, I think, the world record. It might have been very close to the Great Plateau record, honestly. I think this was like a 30-minute Great Plateau. The world record is 29. So not too shabby, definitely. We're also gonna grab a bow here quickly, and then collect some arrows in the castle, and then warp back to Magnesis, because from there we continue our way to Ganon. But let me quickly talk a tiny bit more about amiibos. So Breath of the Wild has a feature that you can only scan. You can only scan an amiibo once per day. There is a time limit. But what Nintendo did not think about is what happens if you have multiple of the same kind of amiibo. So if you, for example, have 5 times at home the Ocarina of Time amiibo, you can just scan 5 Ocarina of Time amiibos back to back to back. And what Nintendo absolutely did not think of are blindfolded speedrunners who need to, in some other routes, not the route that Saver does now, but I, for example, mainly do a route where I need to scan like 30 amiibos or something, and nobody gonna pay for that. So what we do is you can actually create or like copy your amiibos that you have bought originally. Oh, there was a tiny bit of a hiccup. Now we go to Majora's Mask, so here comes the difficult section. This is very new. Also, I haven't seen that much, so we're just going to see how this goes. The general idea is to create a good angle and then run straight towards Majora's Mask here. But yeah, amiibos are expensive these days. I think one amiibo is like $20 or something, even used. And if you're going to need like 50 of them for one run, it's going to be expensive. So what you can do is if you have one amiibo, you can actually, amiibos are nothing else than an NFC chip that you can find in like car keys or like bank cards, etc. And if you have a phone with NFC technology, you can basically just scan your amiibo and copy it to an unlimited amount of blank NFC chips. So what Saver basically has as its setup, or like every Breath of the Wild runner these days, we have like a pile of like 100 NFC chips in front of us on the table, just like in like different tiny containers. So we know like, okay, here are my 50 Ocarina of Time amiibos, here is my Smash amiibo, here is my I don't know, Majora's Mask amiibo, etc. So we just have like a whole table full of like NFC chips, which is kind of kind of funny. It's a very, very unique setup, I think. But yeah, we are more enough of the amiibos. We'll see a bit more amiibo action later on during the run. We are approaching the Majora's Mask, I believe. Saver's crossing this lake here. This is looking very good. You can see these ruins in front of us, and I believe the chest with Majora's Mask is inside there, hidden well from the casual player's eyes. I believe it's very difficult to find this mask like on your own. I've never found it in my casual playthrough, I have to admit. I'm not a good Breath of the Wild gamer. I can just run this blindfolded. I'm not good with eyes. But I think we normalize here on the wall, cross it, and then there should be a chest, hopefully, with no major hiccups anymore. And the Majora's Mask is actually, as I said, not very useful in terms of like armor value or damage. Oh, there it is. The chest is buried in the ground. One magnesis, pull it up. And there you go, Majora's Mask on Link's head. Let's go. Beautiful. Very, very well done by Saver. Took this detour here for the incentive to show off this super cool mask location. Anyone who has not found that themselves in a casual playthrough, you can go through this marathon run and see how Saver did it blindfolded. You will definitely have no problem to find it with this. But yeah, Majora's Mask definitely increases the swag points by quite a lot. It only has one armor, so really it does nothing damage-wise, but sometimes, I always say when I do speedruns, sometimes the swag is all that counts and matters. Sometimes going fast is not everything. So, we are back on track for any percent. What is gonna happen now is we will have a big section of running. A pretty big section of just running. Because we need to go to Ganon's castle. You can see Ganon's castle all the way on the horizon there. It's this tall building. You might see right in front of Link. There is this tall pillar. And yeah, we are gonna run all the way there. So grab some drink while I guide you through some more useful and funny information of Blindfolded Breath of the Wild. There's actually...
Oh,
go ahead.
If it's okay, I would like to talk about some incentives really quick, if that's okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, just a reminder, we do have a few submissions that will be closing today. We have quite a few. We have the Super Mario Brothers, the the Mario Fire glitch is just so good. In my opinion, I would definitely watch that. It's only $30 left, so any donations that come in and you can get towards that incentive, that would be great, because it is going to be after Mike Tyson's Punch Out, and so that is going to be a little bit later today, but still, I would love to see that incentive to get met. And then for the Battletoads Blindfolded Turbo Turner, it is going to be $300 left for that incentive as well. And if you would like to see another blindfolded speedrun today, like we are right now with Zelda Breath of the Wild, I mean, come on, this is so amazing. Wouldn't you want to watch another? So we just have a $300 left for that one. And then, of course, let's give some love to the Bloodstained Curse of the Moon. And we will have, Bobby is a fantastic speedrunner. Definitely have to watch. But also, we want more of Bobby, right? So let's get this Curse of the Moon incentive met, because I would love to see more of Bobby. Let's show some love for that one. So any of the donations come in, you can always get towards those incentives.
Thank you very much. Yeah, as you can see, Saver's making his way through the Hyrule field, and there's actually something I want to talk about, because right now you can see right in front of Saver is this house, and we're actually doing a tiny bit of a few stops on the way there, which is very crucial to Saver's route that he's using. That is the DLC armor. One more time, pay to win, la la la. But yeah, DLC is important. You can find very strong armor in the Hyrule field, which is the Phantom armor set. And you will see Saver collecting one of the set pieces now. Again, if you have not found this casually, go ahead and check this location out, because this is like one of the best armors in the game. Right here in this chest. These are the Phantom pants, first of all. And the good thing about these pants is, oh, the Guardian targeted Saver. It should be fine. He should get stuck here. Yep. So what is good about these pants is not only do they have extremely high defense, they have like a defense value of 8, which is absolutely insane. I think if you have like a normal armor set on like maximum upgrade, some of the normal armor sets on maximum upgrade don't even have 8 armor. So they are extremely, extremely powerful. But what is even more incredible about these pants is that they have an attack buff. They have an attack buff level 1. And it is possible to gain attack buffs up to level 3. And they don't stack with food. So if you, for example, have... Or they do stack with food, rather. If you, for example, have the pants, and then an attack food buff that gives +2 attack, then you have efficiently level 3 attack, which is the maximum. Very unexpected guest, suddenly, Epona. With the power of the holy amiibos, we actually can also summon Epona and make this whole trip to Ganon's castle a tiny bit faster. Epona is spawned by the Smash Link amiibo, and very inconsistent to ride while blindfolded, so this all needs to be very calculated here. Especially getting off of Epona is extremely unnormalized, so we'll need to figure out a bit where... Saver needs to figure out a bit where he is, but no problem here. Just wanted to showcase one more time the amiibo usage, and there will be a tiny bit more usage right now, because we're approaching the second DLC chest that we're gonna equip, or like find, which is in these ruins right in front of us. And now the run will take a big turn in Ooh, he's gonna skip it.
You know what? I'm gonna skip it.
Saver just said that he will skip it. I don't know what he referred to. I hope not the armor. I think he will skip the second armor piece for some reason. Maybe to make it a bit more challenging for the marathon, to showcase his incredible Ganon fighting skills. Who knows? Oh no, he's gonna pick up the chest. I don't know what he meant by skipping it. Maybe the amiibos? Because usually we get the chest here with the Phantom armor chest piece. Exactly. 8 armor again and another attack buff. Now Link looks extremely cool. And we're gonna do a save and load manipulation. Basically, we can save the game, reload the game, and then we are in a tiny bit of a different position where we saved. It's all based on like where you save, etc. It's pretty complicated. But usually, we would scan a few more amiibos here for meat and for safety to heal during Ganon. But I believe Saver said I will skip it, so I believe he will skip the amiibos for safety food. Yep, that's exactly what's happening. So, what you will see now is absolutely incredible, because if you have seen visual speedruns... Oh, it's happening. It's happening. And it's happening! Blindfolded wind bomb. So, yeah, we actually do use... oh, that angle... It's a bit too low, I think. I think Saver will need to redo this. It was not high enough. Oh, don't save your Saver. No, don't save.
Let's try one more
time. Don't save. Oh, good choice, good choice. Oh my god. If you would have saved there, that would have been very bad. But he reloaded and will try again. So basically, we use 2 wind bombs in the run, actually. Even blindfolded, they are possible. They are not extremely consistent, as you can hear. There are super many factors that can affect the angle, the height, the range, how far you fly, etc. It all depends on like which frame you hit the bomb and whatever. But basically what's happening here... Oh, that's a very high one. You can see much more vertical height than last time. unfortunately a tiny bit to the left. We want to aim, like we need to find Ganon's castle. That's the aim here with this wind bomb. The castle is right in front of us, and we just need to get into the vicinity. But it looks like Saver is gonna land right in the malice here and take lots of damage and die in 1 second. He has some of the meat from the amiibo, so he'll try to heal. But this does not look good as the position. I am very sure he will need to reload this and retry. This is not a favorable position. He wants to heal through it. He does not have any. He doesn't have much meat for the end fight left, honestly. And now the camera turned. Oh no, this is not looking good. But maybe he's facing exactly the door where he needs to go. So maybe it will work out. He's now just trying to find land that is not malice. Okay, here he finally got out of the damaging malice here, and now tries to run towards the castle to activate a loading zone. You don't need to exactly hit the bridge here. This is very good. Okay, he knows where he is. As soon as they are in this water pit here, you just need to swim forward, and you will basically activate the cutscene here that plays when you reach the castle. And as soon as you have this cutscene, you can. Oh, he instantly drowned. This is kind of a mess, but I hope it will work out. This will actually not be very good, because what Saver wants to do is get into the loading zone, open the map, and then warp exactly like this. Now he finally succeeded, because the Ganon's castle is kind of treated as a dungeon, and you can warp out of dungeons into a normalized position. So we just need to get kind of close to the castle somewhat with the wind bomb, even if it's inconsistent in direction, etc. We just need to figure our way like towards the castle, and then we can re-warp ourselves back into a normalized position in front of the castle, and basically redo, like, from here on we have setups to continue. So big GG on finding the castle after this, I would say, a tiny bit scuffed wind bomb. It was a tiny bit too far left, definitely not as Saver imagined it, but now we're back on track, everything is fine. We're gonna again stasis the door here instead of magnesis it, just because of camera shenanigans, and we'll come up to one very hype moment. I want everyone to hold their breaths, because we will do a blindfolded Guardian parry. We need to hit a parry here that is like, if you have played this game casually, you might know that the only way to kill Guardians is like to perfectly like hit the shield parry against a laser. And will Saver be able to succeed blindfolded? That's the big question. Let's see what happens right here. We're gonna parry this Guardian right in front of us. Oh, the target is on. The spooky is going. Boom, and he failed. Nah. It's very, very difficult to do, so no worries. We safety safe there. We can retry. But yeah, it's always extremely cool. It's always extremely cool to see this happen, and it feels so great if you actually get this parry. I can speak from experience. Even as a casual player, when you do it visually and you finally get like your parry against the laser and you shoot it back, it's such a good feeling. And blindfolded, it just feels so good. So attempt number 2. Ooh, there he goes. Perfect parry. Second try. Very, very good. Now that the Guardian is out of the way, nothing stops us from entering the castle. And basically, we could already go towards Ganon now. Like, nothing is hindering us. As soon as you finish the Great Plateau in this run, you can go straight to Ganon. There is nothing hindering you. The biggest hindrance is your equipment, because you're kind of underprepared to face Ganon yet. Especially if I can talk a bit about the boss system at the very end. There are usually 4 main dungeons in Breath of the Wild, the so-called Divine Beasts. And every Divine Beast that you free, like every dungeon that you finish, the end boss has 1 less phase at the end for every dungeon that you finish. It's pretty complicated, but basically every time you finish a dungeon, you shorten the end fight. And because we skip everything, the end fight will be super long. But now, before we continue all this talk about the end fight, comes a super, super cool setup. We're gonna kill the lizard force there, which is this enemy, and he holds 2 key items that we need: the boomerang and the shield. And what Saver does here is place a bomb and then whistles, and then we need to wait until the lizard force comes. And hopefully the lizard force will see the bomb and run towards it, and we are kind of hiding behind the statue. Oh, there he is. Sneak attack with the iron hammer, jump forward, wait for him to get up, sneak attack again, and then one more hit and he should be dead. Boom, there we go, perfect. A 3-time sneak kill hit. We got both the weapon and the shield now. Perfectly executed, very, very cool strat. So basically, we go into the castle here to obtain equipment and weapons, because this castle is extremely endgame, and the most powerful weapons of the entire game are literally here in this castle. So we just go out of the Great Plateau into the castle to get some super overpowered equipment and then face Ganon. That's the plan. We are now heading to the armory, where lots of the powerful weapons are located. So right behind this wall here in front of us is one of them, which is the ancient arrows. This chest contains 3 of them, 3 ancient arrows, and they are extremely, extremely powerful against the final boss. Especially it can like hinder a very bad attack that Ganon can do. But I will talk more about this later. First of all, another extremely, extremely cool setup coming up, where we will do a sneak attack on the... I honestly don't remember how the enemy is called. I will figure it out in 1 second. But you see this enemy in front of us who's sleeping. We will do another save load manipulation here. So you can see Saver going, getting the Royal Claymore, very powerful weapon, and then saving and reloading. And if everything worked as planned, Saver should spawn right behind Moblin. Moblin is the name of the enemy. Right behind the Moblin, in a position where he can just press Y and do a sneak attack to kill him. You see? Perfect. Boom. Easy peasy kill without any troubles. And with that, Saver has obtained the Black Claymore, I believe, or Edge of Duality, I think is the original name. We usually refer to them as the colors they have, because we have 1 white and 1 black claymore here. And very important, the Razor Shroom. This Razor Shroom is extremely important to the route, you will see in 1 second. This is the last item we will cook. And the Razor Shroom gives another attack buff. And if you can do simple mathematics, we have +1 attack from the pants, +1 attack from the armor, and we will get 1 more +1 attack from the Razor Shroom. So we go to a total of +3 attack up, which is the maximum. And that allows us to do maximum damage against Ganon, and it's basically the only way we can defeat Ganon with our equipment, because this game has a system of durability. If you use your weapons too much, they will break. And if we don't have this 3 attack buff up, we literally don't have enough weapon power to do enough damage to Ganon. But first of all, we're gonna cook this Razor Shroom with a super cool setup, because we need to light our arrow on fire and then light the fireplace like this, so we can actually cook. Now, Saver is extremely, extremely low on food. I'm kind of concerned. He has only 8 meats, which is not much at all. And he's gonna cook now the Razor Shroom with Nadria's Fang, which is a dragon, which gives like... It basically boosts this attack food to like the maximum. So instead of a 2-minute buff, Saver has like a 10-minute attack buff, which will last for the entire boss fight. And with this, we are done. We are done in preparations. We have basically all the weapons we need. There's one more thing we're going to pick up, and then we go right to the end boss already. Very, very clean run so far, honestly. It's going very, very clean. We now will warp back out of Ganon's castle again in the same normalized position here in front of the gate. And we will get a bow, a very strong bow, and another 3-pack of ancient arrows. Before we go there, a couple of things I have not mentioned and just now realized. First of all, we play in French for whatever reason, you might wonder. French is the fastest language for any percent, both in text and dialogue. Mostly voice matters. Like the text that you play in doesn't matter much, but the cutscenes that play actually are like bound to text speed. So we play in French. We don't need to understand what's going on anyways, even if someone doesn't speak French. So it's just speed. Second thing I want to mention here is whistle running. I don't know if you have noticed, but Saver kind of, in many sections, especially across the Hyrule field we can kind of run infinitely and without losing stamina. And I haven't really talked about it because it comes so naturally to me already that I kind of forgot. But there is a very, very simple glitch you can do at home to give you infinite stamina. Instead of holding B down to run, all you do is hold the whistle button where you like call Epona. You hold the whistle button and then mash the run button. That allows you to literally infinitely run without any drawback. It's like not 100% speed, but like 80% or something. But after you know how to do this, you will never play Breath of the Wild the old way again, I can promise. Here is the Royal Bow that we collect, one of the strongest bows in the game. And the 3-pack of Ancient Arrows. I believe, oh no, there's another 5-pack of arrows here that you can optionally grab, but Saver is so experienced with the Ganon fight, he doesn't need it apparently. One last setup, and now very be very how do you say? Pay attention now, because a very, very cool thing is gonna happen again. Hold your breaths, little setup here, and then we are gonna go fly. You can see, you might have an idea what's gonna happen. You see this big cliff in front of us, and you see Saver equipping bombs and arrows, so you might have a slight idea what's gonna happen soon. Saver's just positioning himself here, checking what inventory he has. Saving, definitely important to safety save for the marathon. This can very easily mess up. And then we face Ganon's castle, place some bombs, and Link goes flying. Another wind bomb right in front of Ganon's castle, right straight towards the entrance. Super well executed. Perfectly straight to the entrance here. We literally just have to go straight and the boss fight will be there.
Okay.
So yeah, that basically skips the entire castle. Easy peasy. And now actually one more thing is gonna happen. We are gonna perform another skip in this run, which is a whole boss fight skip. For those familiar with the visual speedrun, there is something called a wind blade skip, which is like a extremely precise thing that many visual speedrunners even fail. Saver has created a blindfolded setup for this, with the help of scope cancelling and bunny hops and shield punches, etc. Everything that's like normalized. So you can see him do this super kind of crazy movement. He's like setting up a very specific position. This is literally like 1 or 2 pixels wide that you have to make this succeed. So incredibly precise. One last safety save, and we are gonna enter the final boss fight of the run. One more time, I am very concerned about Saver's health items. He has only like 8 items to heal, which is not much, but as you can see here, Windblade skip, we will see if it succeeds in 1 second. Basically what happens, yep, you can see Windblade's head moving in the cutscene, and that is because Saver, with this very precise position, Saver shot an arrow into the cutscene, such that the arrow is in the air when the cutscene starts playing, exactly in the hitbox of Windblade. You can see Windblade has like barely any HP left. So he's just gonna target him, shoot 1 arrow, and that's not it yet, but 1 more arrow, and Windblade is dead. You can kill Windblade instantly with that, but yeah. Let me talk about the end fights here. So there are 4 different kinds of blights that we have to kill based on the 4 dungeons. There's Wind Blight, Water Blight, which we are fighting now, then Fire Blight, and then Thunder Blight. now we use all the weapons we picked up with very specific setups. You can see Saver doing very precise, how do you say, attack patterns. You need to, for blindfolded, it's very important to keep in mind how many hits you did with which weapon, because we use setups with breaking the weapons. We know exactly that after, for example, 30 hits, one weapon breaks. So everything is calculated here. Water Blight phase, and every blight has 2 phases on top of that. Here we do some blindfolded headshots to get Water Blight down from the air, and then attack him twice with 2 attacks. And now Water Blight is gonna respawn in a higher area where we cannot hit him. So we actually need to dodge this attack of Water Blight. We, for that, take the bomb out to help with camera and not climbing walls by accident. But yeah, perfect dodge, no problem. Now Saver's gonna turn around and Water Blight is gonna go down again. We need 2 more headshots with the bow. Can we get it? 1 headshot and second headshot. Water Blight is down. 2 more hits. 1, 2, and 1 more. 1, 2, and that's Water Blight phase 2. Now comes Wind Blight. Wind Blight phase 1 is the easiest of them all, I think. You can loop Wind Blight with headshots and body shots with the bow pretty easily. So you can see like headshot, 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 and then just, oh, he whiffed 1. Saver missed 1 attack with the Claymore, so tiny bit less damage on Fireblight, but that's no problem at all. Saver, the only problem is that Saver has only 5 arrows left for the fight, and he needs to get some headshots in. That was not a headshot, not a headshot. Completely missed. Dodge the fire though, that's very good. Never has that happened, Saver says.
Never.
And there with 1 final hit of the Claymore, Windblight phase 1 is dead. Now comes Fireblight phase 2. Fireblight phase 2 has a unique feature that he first has a shield and we need to place a bomb on the floor. And then Fireblight is gonna do like a suction attack and gets the bomb into his radius, and then we can basically damage him. There we go, Fireblight is down, and then again, 1 more whiffed hit. You can see the spin attack with the Claymore. This is going to be very important later on for the Ganon fight. The spin attack is extremely powerful. It does more damage than just normal. Now bomb arrows are extremely powerful, but very close. Bomb arrows are dangerous because if you shoot them too close, then you basically damage yourself. And now comes the biggest hurdle of the entire round, of this entire run, which is Thunderblight phase 2. This is Thunderblight phase 1. We need to do a perfect dodge called a Flurry Rush, and then attack Thunderblight with the Boomerang, then destroy his shield, then do a spin attack for exactly 3 hits. 1, 2, 3 hits. Cancel it, and do 2 more hits. That kills Thunderblight exactly always in the same spot. It's a very, very specific setup. And now we need this exact position. We need this setup to work because Thunderblight phase 2 shoots like pillars of lightning into the ground, and we would need to magnesis them. But there's actually a way to skip this whole magnesis part, because this was the worst part of the run. So what Saber is doing here, he counts some jumps, takes the boomerang, throws the boomerang, equips the black claymore, which is close to exploding, perfectly executed, throws the claymore into the air, and it hits the Thunderblight out of its safety safe there. And now just a few more hits with the boomerang, again destroying the shield, and perfect Thunderblight. Absolutely beautiful. You love to see it. And with that, we are in Ganon, the final Ganon fight, actually. Now, very, very scary thing coming up. Ganon, we don't have enough weapons to kill Ganon. So we first, before we start fighting, we run around the arena and collect some more items here. A short sword, a shield, 10 bomb arrows, and then there's another claymore on the top of the arena here, right there. So now we have everything we need. Saver doesn't have much food though, one more time. If Saver can get hit with this amount of food. Saver can get hit, I believe, 3 times total, then he's dead. Because this game works like this, that there is a one-hit protection. So if you're at full health, at 3 hearts in our case, you can get hit by most attacks and not die. And we basically damage Ganon with doing these perfect dodges and doing the Flurry Rush. That's the way we usually damage Ganon here. Ganon can also go onto the wall like this. That's why we have Ancient Arrows. Because Ancient Arrows basically take Ganon down from the wall and cancel all his attacks, and he just falls down. That's very, very important. Bomb Arrows do some more damage. It's a very, very reactional fight. Oh, Guardian parry, so to stun Ganon, some more damage in there, let's go. Saver is extremely talented with the Ganon fight, since, as I said, the sub 1 hour grind did this fight without armor, so you were not allowed to get hit even once. So Saver has lots of practice reacting to all the different attacks that Ganon can do. He climbed one more time up to the wall, very unlucky, doesn't have arrows anymore. One more laser, he's gonna try to parry it. Oh, missed it. It was a tiny bit too close.
Oh shit, this is bad.
And here comes the difficult part. You see these flames on the floor. They can damage you and you won't even hear it. Luckily nothing happened. Oh, perfect parry again. He's gonna run to Ganon, kill him a tiny bit more. But what I said earlier with the health, let me come back to this. So there's the one-hit protections, and no matter what hits Saver right now, he will survive with a quarter of a heart. And he can only survive another hit if he heals to full again. And he has 8 meats, which heal 1 heart each. So every hit he takes, he needs to eat 3 meats. If he has 8 meats, that means he can survive maximum 3 hits, which is very scary. I would not like to be in this situation, but Saver is much, much more experienced in this game than me, so he gets very good RNG with the Flurry Rushes here. His one weapon is destroyed now, but he still has Bomb Arrows. Bomb Arrows also get Ganon down from the wall, but you need 2. So you need to shoot 2 arrows here. Boom, boom. There's 1 tornado, which is RNG. Let's hope that Saver does not run into it. There's also a laser coming. Dodge the laser, dodge the tornado. Perfect. Okay, we're back on track. This attack that Ganon does is kind of random. Yeah, Ganon is very close to dying already. Yes. Like one more hit, I think. One more hit and Ganon phase 1 will be dead. There is a phase 2, don't worry. And the biggest problem with Ganon is that if you Flurry Rush, okay, that should be it. That should be it. Perfect. So the problem with all of these Ganon fights here at the end is, if you die at any point, you will respawn at the very beginning before any of this fight starts. So all of this needs to be in one go. Now, Ganon Phase 2 is where it gets really scary, because Ganon Phase 2 has an invincible shield around him. Like you can see, he's glowing red, and you cannot do anything. You can only damage Ganon with Flurry Rushes or parrying a laser. His Claymore broke. I think Saver's running a bit low on weapons, but it should be fine. The thing is, like, Ganon is now on the wall and there is no way to get him down. Saver needs to either dodge everything that gets thrown at him or parry. This attack is parryable. Boom, perfect parry. He can run up to Ganon. Now, Ganon Phase 2 actually has a very cool feature though, which we'll see right now, hopefully. Because you can stunlock Ganon Phase 2 in a very specific spot. It's a very tight timing, but you can keep stunlocking Ganon Phase 2 in this phase here, where he tries to recover and get up. You can see he's trying to put up his shield, but falls down again. Trying to put up his shield, falls down again. And you constantly keep doing damage with this spin attack. This is looking very good. It's already the 4th loop. You can see lots of damage coming in to Ganon. That will loop again, perfect. The problem with this strat is you need to parry a laser or a attack from the wall, and this is exactly what Saver did here. And a few more, oh, that was very tight, but still made it. A few more stun locks here and Ganon should be dead, but our weapon is about to break. I don't know if he has enough damage. Oh, tiny bit, oh my god, he has a tiny bit of damage, not enough. Will he loop him with the iron hammer? Nope. Oh my god. Hammer to the face. It's a strat I have also personally done at the marathon recently. It's the last resort. The hammer does like 0 damage, but if you run out of weapons, it's all you have.
Oh boy, this is bad.
Oh my god, he has like 1 HP left, and he goes to the wall. That's very, very bad. Very, very bad. Hopefully, 1 parry. We just need 1 parry. We just need 1 parry of an attack, and Ganon should be dead here. It's a laser. Laser are parryable. Let's see. Ooh, he took a hit. The first damage of the entire fight. Unfortunately not damageless anymore. And there we go. That's Ganon phase 2. That is it. We are safe. That was the last boss fight of the game. GG, well played. There's still something coming up. It's not time yet. But if you die at this point, you will respawn at this point. So we don't have to redo the entire fight anymore. Very, very clean fight. Only took 1 damage at the very end. Otherwise, it would have been damageless even. That is insane. I have myself never succeeded in such a feat. I'm still very, very new and bad at this fight. Now, the last thing we need to do is defeat the Dark Beast Ganon, which is right here. Basically, this is a kind of an auto-scroller. You usually would use Epona and ride the horse and shoot arrows onto the glowing parts, but since we're blindfolded, riding a horse is not a good idea. What we're gonna do is rather a normalized setup with bunny hops and scope cancelling, as I said earlier, because if you take out your scope and then cancel it with your bow, as I said, you gain vertical distance on the camera. So you can like perfectly set up arrow shots here to hit all the circuits on Dark Beast Ganon. And it is all calculated, like do 3 jumps to the left, do 2 scope cancels, do 3 jumps to the left again, do 4 scope cancels, then shoot. And this entire fight is basically scripted, so it's not really an auto-scroller. You can definitely mess this up. I speak from experience. You can mess this up on PB pace if you are not patient and focused enough. But it's very difficult to mess up. Let's say it like this. So a few more arrow hits and we are coming up on time then. This is basically like just riding it home at this point. Dark Beast Ganon. There's one tiny bit of a tricky thing. I don't know if Saver already implemented it or not, but there is like, because Dark Beast Ganon is so big, there is lots of lag when he starts shooting his crazy arrow. What was that? Okay. Saver actually accidentally turned his camera there. Don't know why, but he repositioned it. It's all fine. So, the last shot here that we need to dodge. Perfectly dodged. And there is gonna be one more circle on his chest, which we're gonna shoot in just 1 second. After the 3rd arrow, here's the hit, and now we are coming up on time. We just need to wait for the dialogue now to proceed as a like auto-scroller. And then we're gonna jump into the air. We need to hit the last arrow from slow motion.
Time is coming
up as soon as the eye is hit with the arrow. I believe Saver's gonna announce it still. And that's an amazing marathon time. And
done.
Time, yes, that is it. Blindfolded any percent in around 1 hour 15. Wow, that is such a good time. Yeah, that's a route PB.
Oh, sweet.
That's
a PB for the route.
amazing. Oh my goodness, congratulations.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Congratulations, Saver. Incredible run.
Yeah. Wow. That was just impressive.
Thank you very much.
No, it's all good. Don't worry about it.
I'm sorry if any of my talking overrided you. Fireblight, man, I was stressing out when that happened. I'm like,
yes, you did. You missed up the Windblight skip, and then 2 ancient arrows were needed still.
Yeah. That's 2. Went down the drain. And I probably had a whole bunch of bomb arrows, right? Because I knew I was out of ancients. So
but incredible fight, close to damageless entire Blight and Ganon fight. You lost 1 heart at the very end with the laser that he shot. Yep. And just for your reference, you had 8
laser,
meats
yep.
at the end in the inventory, so not more than 3 hits.
What happened when I did the wind bomb toward the castle? Was I
So
stuck?
the first
like,
wind bomb went too low, you
malice things?
landed way too early. Second wind bomb, you went too far to the left. You kind of slided to the left and then landed in the malice and got stuck there because it was like a kind of tall malice and you wanted to jump above it and it didn't work out quite.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why I hate that wind bomb so much. You can go, but I already knew that the second wind bomb was gonna be wrong because when I was climbing up to set up for it, I'm the one who's supposed to make Link climb up all the way. Instead, he climbed up automatically. I'm like, well, I don't know what this is gonna take me. Just take it at this point. But that was fun. Oh my god.
The chest
Temple
blocked
of Time did not
unequal
allow me to
spawns.
have a lot of meat.
I was very surprised that you didn't get more meat
And I'm
at
just like,
the
that's it, I'm
second
going with this.
Phantom
I
armor,
don't
but
care.
it worked out after all, so GG.
Je savais que tu affronterais Ganon et que tu en sortirais vainqueur.
I was thinking about doing that, and then I was thinking about doing the new route Amiibo after the Iron Shroom, no, Razor Shroom.
Yeah, gotta zoom. I was wondering,
I just said,
do you
forget it,
have a
time,
moment
gotta go
for
fast.
An interview with both of you. I am very, very interested in learning more about the Breath of the Wild and how to do it blindfolded. But in the meantime, I was wondering if you had some party tricks to show us with Breath of the Wild.
Definitely BLSS.
Party tricks. Yes, I gotta try to BLSS. So the good thing about this game is they actually allow you to skip the credits, which is like 10 minutes long. You don't get to see the very final cutscene that's like 30 seconds, but you actually get to skip it.
Well,
do not do a new game.
Awesome. Yeah, I just wanted to ask
show off
a
the
question
BLSS.
because honestly, this was just such an impressive way to watch the speedrun, and I have to say the commentary was really, really solid and so good. For both of you, and I'll just have Saver go first. You did a great job showcasing this like Breath of the Wild blindfold. I'm sorry, my mind is still like processing how awesome it was. You have so much skill, and it looks like there's been a ton of practice because honestly, it was just so clean. I was wondering, how long have you been running this game?
So I did like all dungeons, all major quests, and all like the big important pieces, including 40 shrines in 2019, and that took 104 hours to do. After that, I kept saying, okay, yeah, any percent's too easy. I want to do something hard. After I finished that 104-hour run, I went to any percent and then grinded it out for like, I don't know, I'd say 200 hours. And then after I was done with that, I was like, okay, I got 151. I'm happy. It was glitchless, and it used the Pro Controller, so everything was all just bunny hops. There was no such thing as going straight on a Pro Controller because there's no notches. So it was all bunny hops. And I think somewhere around 2021, maybe 2022, a runner named Mariana decided to come in and try to route, and it made me try it again, I think. And then Bubsy decided to come in and said, why are you guys using this bunny hop route with the official Nintendo Switch controller? I'm going to use this controller that lets me go up and down. And I'm like, I tried going up and down. There's no such thing as up and down. I tried different controllers. He's like, no, this controller goes up and down. And then I bought it. A couple other people bought it. It's like, oh crap, we got a new route to do now. So Bubsy kind of spearheaded the new route of going super quick with the straight.
Yeah, the 8-bit controller is definitely extremely powerful. Not only in Breath of the Wild, but now gonna be probably in the future used for many other blindfolded speedruns as well. It's just so powerful.
That's amazing. I just honestly love hearing that.
Yeah, got 2 colors.
Bubsia, I was wondering, same question for you. I was just curious because what about this controller? Like how? Just how?
Yeah. No, like initially I actually started, as I said, running with my Pro controller with notches, with like a custom shell. So basically a Nintendo Switch Pro controller that has like GameCube notches. And that also already worked. I did my first runs with that. And then I believe I believe it was Civil, another community member of ours, who you can see the controller in the webcam right now. This controller, we found it online and we thought like, yeah, it looks amazing, honestly. And the thing is, it is so powerful that we really had to change the routes. And I think it will kind of be the same way for other games too at this point, because it's just kind of such a big advantage to have analog versus digital inputs as the stick. Kind of similar to running games on like original N64, for example, with like a keyboard on an emulator. Like many people don't think it's good to run with a keyboard, but for specifically blindfolded for like setups, etc., it like makes such a big difference. So yeah, it's definitely extremely powerful. That's all I can say to that.
Well, I love hearing that. I love that there's like a connection there, and then also it contributes to the community speedrunning in such a positive way. And also with like the blindfold, I'm always impressed seeing blindfold runs. They're just it's a whole new level, and I have a lot of respect for anyone who does a blindfold run. Well, thank you both for an amazing showcase of just the Breath of the Wild and showing it blindfolded. And then um I just to me, like I appreciate you both and the commentary, and it's just the run. Everything was spectacular. I appreciate all that. And definitely anyone just shout outs CrystalSaver, it's in the chat, and Buzzia, I have to say it was just amazing to listen, and also it was very impressive as well. Definitely shout outs to those two. But for both of you, do you have any shout outs or anything left to say or any plugins you would like to input?
Thank you, thank you. No problem. I hope I could provide some information. I think I went a tiny bit like detailed and technical because like it's hard to turn your brain off when you know the route yourself, kind of.
Yeah.
But I hope it was still understandable for like everyone. And also big shout outs to, if I can quickly say, to the entire community of our blindfolded speedrunners. As I said in the middle of the run, if you're interested in learning this yourself, for example, just like the Great Plateau category, we have amazing people there that will love to help you out. We have a community website, if I can plug that quickly, is blindfoldedgaming.com. And there is a link to our Discord, and there are all the runs that we do uploaded, etc. So if you have any kind of interest of joining us, making blindfolded speedruns, or just like hanging out, having questions, etc., definitely feel free to join and check everything out we have. There are many resources, many tutorials, etc. Definitely great community. Big shout outs to all of them.
Definitely
Well,
echo that.
Aww. Well, thank you both. I appreciate you both showing an amazing run and the commentary, and it was